they come out clean.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Birds in the Buckets. I'm Rashad Milligan, joined here by my co-host Malik Brown. Malik, how are you doing today?
Doing good, brother. Doing good. Another Sunday, man. We back at it.
Another Sunday, back at it. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is a one-stop shop where you can get all your fantasy sporting needs and available. And, you just put a deposit in there and you use the code ASU, and that stands for Atlanta Sports Unlimited. Guess just, with all these apps and stuff, there we go. Malik, well, what do you have to say about Prize Picks this week?
And I've been slipping, y'all. I've been slipping. I haven't been on prospects in a minute. As inflation rises.
I was about to say inflation. Them gas prices, man. I get it. You got to cut back sometimes,
Guys, it gets tough out here. So as of now, I'm just picking on in the air, man. Nothing. Just looking. So, but no, if you do got money. If you are good, call the Prize Picks.
Prize Picks, if you're still working from home, that's the thing. If you're still working from home, so you get to save a lot of that gas money, so you still have a little bit, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the way to go, especially during the NBA Finals and the WNBA season. I see a lot of followers and stuff like that who are playing it during the WNBA season. So those are some of the things you can do each and every single night on Prize Picks. With that being said, let's get right into it. Since I think the last time we recorded was just an end of the season type deal, that we might have had Pat on at that time and stuff like that. So we talked about the end of the season. We talked about moving forward just a little bit. Now let's talk about some of these trade rumors that we've been seeing a little more prominent kind of coming up. We've been seeing talk, I guess Deandre Ayton is the name that has been called the most. Rudy Gobert has been named in some rumors, and Zach LaVine has been named in some rumors as well, but it really feels like Deandre Ayton has been named the most. I guess just Malik, out of the 3-4 guys that you hear all the time, Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, Zach LaVine, and Deandre Ayton, which one of those do you think is kind of like the most realistic for the Hawks? And do you think that person changes the Hawks and advances them to the point of being championship contenders?
I think the most obvious, the most gettable person I would think is DeAndre Ayton. Because I feel like out of all of those players, all of those 4 players, he's the one that's kind of like has the most static or disconnect with their current team. So I would definitely say him. And I also think he's gettable because you would don't really have to give up much. I feel like you already kind of know what you're giving up. It would definitely have to be like a sign and trade type of thing. So, if what I'm hearing is like the Suns want a more experienced person at the center position, okay, you get Capella. I don't think Capella is no slouch. I still think Capella is pretty good, which is why I still don't understand why the Hawks would do this. But if they were to do it, of course, a Capella for DeAndre Ayton swap, maybe somebody else. I don't know who else the Hawks would give up. I think 2 players for 1 maybe would do them good. They get DeAndre Ayton. Of course, he's younger. I guess he's more versatile defensively, especially when it comes to guarding the perimeter. Also has a little mid-range shot. So I definitely think that's different as well. But yeah, I just don't see where switching the center position up would be a thing, and because you also have to take into account that you have Onyeka Okongwu in the back, and I would assume that he would have been the future. But making that move for Ayton is kind of like you're saying you're kicking his tires on Capella and Onyeka. So yeah, I don't know where you go from there. I definitely think the Hawks need a perimeter player. But the perimeter players, I don't think Zach is coming here. I don't think Donovan's coming here. And is there another one? Who was the other one?
No, that
Zach.
was it as far as rumors.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
Jalen Brown was,
Oh, he's
formerly in the
definitely
rumors, but
now.
now they're 2 games away from winning a championship. I don't think that's happening anytime soon, as you said.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah. So yeah, all of them are kind of out the water. So yeah, I mean, if you I just feel like DeAndre Ayton is a lateral move. I mean, unless you kind of just like kind of focusing on the future. I don't think you win now with him, but maybe you win in a couple years. You get a better team, better players around Trey and him. Um, see where it goes. See where it goes.
Well, Grads was talking about how what did he say? He said he's been saying for years, don't let Aiden play with Trey in Atlanta. I don't know what he sees, like if he sees something else or something like that. I pretty much agree with you. I think Aiton's offensive prowess is obviously way larger. But I do think it's interesting to make a large trade for someone who's like a bigger name in the league, and you don't have to give up John Collins. I think that is an interesting thing there, because now John Collins, he goes from being the number 2 expected guy to being the number 3, which I think is kind of more, I think appropriate place for JC. Thing is, with a guy like Aiton, the reason why there is so friction between him and Phoenix, I don't think it's because of the personnel or the coaching staff or anything, although they benched him in the playoffs. I think it's, solely because he just wanted more money. He wanted close to the max. So I mean, if you give him that max money, now you're standing pat. That's the team you have, because Trey's making the max. Aiton's going to be making the max, and John's going to be making over north of 100 million. So like that's it. You have no more money after that. So you're saying this is the team we're going with. This is what. So you have to be really confident in Ayton taking that step from what he's shown so far in Phoenix to being a legitimate number 2 side by side, like Shaq type of guy that people kind of expected him to be coming out of Arizona. He has to kind of be that dominant force that people expected him to be coming out of college, to the level of a legend, to really make it work for Atlanta, to improve their chances of being championship contenders, versus now where you have a very good center, one of the best centers in the league, and a backup in Onyeka, who is looking like he has a very positive feature as well. I do think, if you bring him in for Onyeka, like if you just kind of want him to remain in that role of backup, just have that depth, if Aiton gets hurt, if Collins goes down, put Onyeka in the lineup or in the rotation a little more. I think, you could do that. It's a lot of teams that have a lot of great players, and they kind of just have to accept their roles for the sake of being a championship contender. You look at a Golden State, I think, is a prime example of, certain guys like Steph has had to come off the bench coming back from injury. Clay has had to come off the bench, and when Jordan Poole had it going and everything like that. So, I mean, people will buy into roles if you're winning, and if you look like you have a chance to win a championship. So I don't think Onyeka will have a big problem with that if they're contending for a championship. If they aren't, if they're still doing what they're doing now, first round, second round, maybe conference finals at best, exactly where you were with Clint, then you have a problem, and then Onyeka's going to want out. So is Cooper. I think he's very interesting to see what he does this season with the presumption of Lou Williams being retired out there and stuff like that. So I think, Coop is kind of the piece I'm looking at most next season. And I even forgot about Jalen Johnson, who's another front court guy. So I think you stunt Jalen Johnson's growth as well if you bring in this guy who's in his 4th season coming up now, who's the number 1 pick. You don't bring in the number 1 pick from 4 years ago just to be another guy. You bring him in to be the guy alongside Trey.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's so many questions around everything like that. And I mean, I guess, assuming that just the way Trey plays, I mean, it's very beneficial to have a top tier center. And I mean, we've seen that when Capella was here. First season started playing last season. Capella had one of his better seasons. And I mean, the Hawks looked unstoppable. I mean, Trey gets in the paint. He's either going to hit the floater or he's going to lob it. It's kind of hard for anybody to kind of stop that. So yeah, but I mean, having Ayton definitely switches things up a little bit. I mean, I like Ayton. I like his game. Like I said, he's young, so he fits the timeline, but I just feel like the Hawks have bigger fish to fry than just getting the center. Like I said, it was pretty evident center play wasn't the reason that they were getting demolished in the first round. It was because they needed somebody on the perimeter to help Trey. So I would say, you need a wing player, or you just hope that Deandre, what he did in the last game of the season, just carries on into this season. So that's the hope. And then, you got something there, but definitely think you need to focus on the perimeter and then the front court, which is pretty solid in my opinion.
And the team was constructed on that, which we've talked about a billion times. It was constructed with Cam, Hunter, and Herter being those guys for Trey to alleviate a lot of that stress and stuff and that pressure. Excuse me. And then you bring in Bogey as well for the shooting aspect of it on offense. But, we spoke about it a billion times. Cam didn't pan out, traded, Bogey inconsistent still, and Hunter inconsistent as far as dependability, and in this past season inconsistent as far as on the court play offensively. So I think it's they tried it didn't work. So like you said, now you look elsewhere on the wings, and so I think that's really where the Hawks need to go. I guess, now with the draft, do you think there's anybody in the draft that they can get at 16, or, you saw the rumors of Collins for 7. Do you think there's anyone that's around 16 or 7 that can immediately help the Hawks along the wing?
Nope.
Well, birds in the buckets, y'all take care of yourselves. It's great speaking, catching up. That the Jaden Hardy kid, he was great, in high school. I have no idea what he did in the G League. I guess it wasn't that impressive if, people are talking about him still being available around 16.
Yeah.
But he was a great player in high school. He reclassified, went to G League, and, had that season last year. That's all I really know as far as like wing players around 16, because I knew who he was, and beforehand. I haven't really took a deep dive into the other guys. Go ahead, Malik.
No, I was gonna say, like, I'm not really like tapped into the draft like that. Like, I know about a few players, but and I've been doing like scout reports for Peachtree. But like the players that I've kind of like keyed in on, they really, I don't think they'll do the Hawks any justice in their first season.
You know who would? Jabari Smith, but that's not happening. Yeah. So
that's not happening.
I don't think one of those teams are taking John Collins for a top, for Jabari Smith.
Yeah, like you said, the rumors are John Collins in 16 for the 7th pick or for the 10th pick. Like, and I don't think there's anybody at 7 or 10 that's like a game changer, like that's gonna like really gonna make an impact. So and I don't see the point of trading John Collins for that either. I don't get the John Collins. That's borderline disrespect, bro. I can't even lie.
Well, what about kind of reminds you of, like, you would say like, no, the Hawks will never do that. And then you think about they gave up Cam for like nothing. But that also makes me think about Kevin Knox. He scored 12 points in like 3 minutes in the playoffs or whatever the case was and stuff. What if Kevin Knox, what if they gave him more of a chance? I don't know.
First you got to give the boy that you drafted a better chance.
You're right.
Honest, this might be his rookie season. This might be Jalen Johnson's rookie season, like a legit rookie season where he's actually playing.
But Jalen's a 4 though. I think that's been established. Yeah, that's the problem here. If Jalen was a 3, I think a lot of these issues would just be like If you need to solve backup point guard, play Coop more, get him developed and get him, used to the system. And then if you want to, fix that problem on the wing, just put in Jalen Johnson more. But I don't think he's played like a wing at like he's played literally like John Collins so far from what we've seen from him in the G League and in Summer League. Go ahead, Malik.
Yeah. I mean, because I see a lot of people talking about Jerami Grant as well. That's I think that's been the hottest thing this past week is Jerami Grant. And I know Chris wrote an article and he had like a whole starting five that was not what the Hawks starting lineup was last year. Like it was a completely, totally different lineup. Like it was like Trey, Brogdon, Jerami, Deandre Ayton. I forgot, maybe it was 102. I was like, dang, bro, like they basically trading away the whole team.
Where's the money? Where's the money at for that?
Money, where's the assets? Who's on the bench? So yeah, we've heard
he
that
playing fan control basketball.
That's what he playing fantasy basketball. But at this point, it just kind of seemed like it's evident that this team doesn't want to run it back. So something's going to change. I just don't want them to change it for the sake of just saying,
changing.
Well, exactly. He did something. Like everything that I've seen so far is, and it makes sense and is logical, is a lateral move or it doesn't move the needle. So, like I said, you don't want to make a move just to make a move and you going lateral or down, or you trying to just make a move for the future. I guess I would understand that, you're making a move for the future, but it seemed like the Hawks want to win now. So you're not doing that. You're doing something to win now. So
you got to look at what the teams have added. So Phoenix, to take that next step, they added Chris Paul. Milwaukee, to take that next step, they added Drew Holiday. Miami, to take that next step, they added Jimmy. And then a couple of years later, they added Kyle Lowry and PJ Tucker. You look at who else is taking a step kind of in that. Boston, to take that next step, they brought back Al. You know what I'm saying? So you have to look at that one player to really take you and push you to the next level. You have to identify the player and everything like that. And then that you really have to, but like you're saying, like if it's two players of the same kind of similar talent, it's like, you're not doing that. And if you're changing the entire starting five, just for changing the entire starting five, you're not really doing, that's not what the teams that are currently winning have done. They kept really the same core together, made some tweaks. Golden State, what they did, they just drafted extremely well. Like, to get Jordan Poole and Juan and all those guys, Gary Payton the second, like they just drafted really well. And yeah, so it just takes a couple players, and it's not necessarily always the biggest star players, but if you need to make that home run swing for a star player like a Drew Holiday, like a Kyle Lowry, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to go for it all out, and you can't give up too much for it. So that's the puzzle piece everybody in the NBA is fighting. But I don't know. To your point, that's just further, kind of real life examples of what's going on right now in the league.
Yeah, it's a lot of good pieces. And you were correct. It's always that one person that you bring on, and kind of like the whole franchise just kind of shifts. It was kind of evident, especially in the Eastern Conference. Like,
then also I want to give him his credit too. I think Capella was that to get the Hawks to where they are now, from where they were, and then Capella was the piece to get them to where they are now. So now they need another piece to get them from where Capella took them to even further. Go ahead, Malik.
Definitely. Dang, I forgot what I was about to say. I was about to say in the East. And I feel like I've said it before. Like it's always, it seems like everybody in the Eastern Conference has that 1-2 punch. You feel me? So, I feel like once the Hawks find that guy, they'll be cool. I've always said that it feels like it's just Trey and a whole bunch of other like guys. It's not really like Trey and somebody else, and then like a third. Like it's not like a big three or something like that. It's kind of just everything revolves around Trae Young. everything literally revolves around Trae Young. And when Trae Young isn't playing well, who's next? So, but I mean, I feel like every other team is like, okay, this guy's not playing well, then boom, you got this other guy, sitting here. He's an all-star. He's done this before, done this, done that. So the Hawks need that guy. And I'm not sure if it's Deandre Ayton. So
I mean, you look at the finals now, obviously, I think the obvious one is Boston, Brown and Tatum. But, on the Western Conference side, when Steph is going and he has it going, but they need someone else, then Jordan Poole comes up and hits a couple threes. Clay will hit one out of every three. You know what I'm saying? So they have that help. They have that dependable help when Steph needs it. When Tatum needs it, when he's struggling, JB can get into his bag a little deeper. Al Horford steps up. Marcus Smart does a little more. Like it's a team game, cliche, but it is, and that's something that the Hawks needed John Collins to be that guy, and I think over the past couple of years, John has proved like he's not necessarily that dependable of a guy to do that when Trey's struggling all the time. So I mean, it is what it is. We'll see what the Hawks do. Let us know what you want the Hawks to do in the comment section. Malik, is that it for you this week?
Man, look, I mean, what draft is coming up soon? We already talked about draft, but I mean, I guess we might have more to talk about. I feel like the closer to the draft, the more like more rumors will pop up, especially with John, since he's been the talk of the town. But I mean, it's really been the same three people. It's been Zach, Donovan, and DeAndre, and Gobert, of course, and Trey's. Like, it's really been the same thing. I mean, I go on Twitter, I see the same discourse, same people. I mean, I guess
shout out to the Atlanta Dream. Something fresh, something different. Doing it big. 7-6, I believe, this season. Shout out to the Dream.
Shout out to the Dream, man. Shout out to the Dream. But yeah, and I guess, yeah, I mean, right now we're kind of in the dark spot, because I mean, off season free agency hasn't started, draft hasn't got here, so I feel like when those things pop up, we'll definitely have some more. But yeah, we've been talking about the same thing for the past month.
So salute to the new beat writer too for the Hawks at AJC. Yeah. I believe her name's Jordan.
Ooh, I followed her for sure. Let's see if I still have her following. I am following. Her name is
Lauren Williams. It's Lauren Williams. Welcome to the beat, Lauren Williams. I'm sorry I called you Jordan. And yeah, that's all I have, man. Welcome to the beat. She comes from Detroit, where she was with them live covering the Pistons. Sarah Spencer, the former Hawks beat reporter, has moved to the UGA and Georgia Tech beat as a backup kind of general assignment college football reporter in Georgia. So that being said, man, Malik, let the people know where they can find you.
Y'all can find me, as always, _Malik ATL, Twitter and Instagram, man. Y'all know where to find me. And subscribe to Birds and Buckets, please.
Subscribe to Birds and Buckets. Make sure you sign up for Prize Picks, code ASU. Rashad Milligan. You can follow me at Nas Hillman. We still believe Nas Hillman. Until next time, y'all boys and gals, be easy. Peace.
And if they come out clean.